Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy. Guys, very special show today because you know him from Black Hollywood Live and also This is LA. But I know him from being a dear friend of mine, Derrial Christon in the house.
What's up? Wow, what an intro! You had me at the flashing lights when they showed my face and your face together.
I know. I gotta say, my people do that for me. My amazing Jacob Patrick and Jake Yacovetta, they put together this whole, like, you think I know what the fuck I'm doing? They're like, you should have this video playing, and I'm like, as long as it's as easy for me as clicking a button, then I can figure it out. If I have to do anything else, I am so tech challenged that I cannot. So thank you to you guys.
Well, they deserve
there.
a raise. Yeah, they need
I
a
know
raise.
they definitely do deserve a raise. Don't we all know it? And one day when I can pay my rent, then they'll get that raise.
I feel you.
Speaking of rent, I guess not really speaking of rent, but speaking of apartment things, just so you guys are aware, I had to warn Derrial of this as well. Today is the day that the exterminators are here. I've been like in Spiderville for the last several months, and just like randomly the exterminator decided today was the day. So they will be outside my place, but he claims he is a very quiet exterminator. So I don't even really know what that means. But if you guys hear random sounds that sound like extermination, I don't even know what that sounds like. Then you know that I'm not doing some weird witchy shit. It's actually what's happening behind me. We got a lot to talk about today, and luckily we have Derrial here to do that with us because things are going on. Carl Reiner passed away, which, it's hard. I want to get your thoughts on that because it's so hard to figure out how to phrase. He's 98, so like I'm devastated and people are crushed, but also it does feel like more of a celebration of his life right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know, like, condolences to his family, of course, but really I feel like it's more about celebrating him. So we'll talk a little bit about that. A couple shows getting picked up, Curb Your Enthusiasm and Ozark. So we can talk a little about that. Terry Crews is getting some backlash for some comments. It's not the first time he's gotten a little bit of backlash for some of the things he says. It seems to be in that J.K. Rowling camp of maybe just like, we love your work, so maybe just like do the work. But we can discuss bar lives matter. Isn't it the truth? Bar lives matter is trending right now. It was number 1 on Twitter this morning. What a country we live in.
Wow.
And also agents, they can vote in the Oscars, which is supposed to add diversity. They're hoping that making agents being able to vote will add people of color and women to the Oscars. So we will break all of that down. Also take questions from you guys in the super chat, in the Streamlabs, and in the Patreon that came in from Derrial. But D, let's get right into it because do you have any strong attachments to Carl Reiner? Any strong memories of any of his movies, or did he have effect on your life? Were you a fan, indifferent, any Carl Reiner stuff?
I mean, with Carl Reiner, I was just watching they were doing like a tribute on CBS News this morning that I was watching. He lived a great life. He lived a long life. He has produced a son who is at the top of his game, Rob Reiner, obviously.
Love him.
And he's the best, and so I think it's more of a celebration of his life. I mean, to live past 90 alone is just a celebration. Let's be 100.
I know, but by the time we're that age, like, do you think that age will go up? Because I'm trying to make it past 100. Like, I'm like trying to make it to 150. And
wow.
Hoping that technology gets us there. The way you just wowed me makes me feel like you don't think I can do it.
No, I believe if anybody could do it, Rox, you could get to 150. I just want to know, what exactly? Why do you want to go to 150? Because what do you want to be doing at 125? You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, slang.
Okay.
No, here's really why. Because I feel like in my 30-ish years of life, I feel like I've accomplished about 1 year worth of what I want to accomplish. Like, I'm so not where I want to be yet. So if my timetable keeps going like this, where it takes 30 years for me to make these like little baby steps, I'm going to need till 150 to, be at Meryl Streep status. Like, I'm going to need that. So I don't know if there's a way that my body can stay intact, and then like I'm just finally I blow up at age 90, and then I've got from 90 to 150 to like be like Betty White.
I was gonna like Betty White, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like I'm gonna need more time. We don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Like it's so hard in so many years. So I don't know what you don't want to be 125 one day.
I mean, if my quality of life is not sacrificed at that age, meaning if I'm still sharp mentally, I still got my teeth, you know.
Well, you won't have your teeth for sure at
No,
125.
I will have my teeth. I will have
at
my teeth.
125.
They'll be fake. They may be fake.
Yeah, they're
but
fake.
I will have my teeth.
They're
I'll
fake.
have my teeth. I don't know. I get
100%.
teeth. I don't know. I feel like they may stay with me for my longevity of life. But I don't know. I mean, as long as, like I said, as long as my quality of life is not sacrificed, because I don't want to be just, you know, bedridden or in a wheelchair. You know, I want to be, if I'm still able to be a little, you know, give a little flavor at 150 and still kind of got a little bit of brain and memory going, okay, that's cool. But otherwise, I don't know, because after a certain age, doesn't the mind start to kind of, I don't know, can the brain last to 150?
I don't know. I'm lucky enough to have a 92-year-old Grammy and a 94-year-old Papo, and they're about to be 93 and 95.
Wow.
Now he mental, you know, he's got severe dementia, so like he would prove that no, she is
Right.
like way more with it than me. Like she is just on top of her shit, and I'm like, she could go another 90 years. Like you could be 180 for sure. So I don't know, and I feel like also we should put a little time and energy as a planet into figuring out a way to maintain the brain so that we can live longer, because I do feel like there's more to do now than there ever has been before. There's more to accomplish. There's more to see. There's more, like everything is more. So when I heard 98, the first thought I had legitimately, Derrial, was, oh man, I bet he wished he made it till 100.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a silly thing.
It is so close, but it's close.
You're so close.
Yeah.
You're so close. And 100 feels like you really damn did it.
Yeah.
Like you made it
did that
into
damn
triple.
thing at 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody dies at 100 and is like, I didn't do it. Like you and your mega star. So anyway, rest in peace, Carl Reiner. Your work will be remembered for years and years to come. And of course, your legacy is passed on in a superstar of a son as well, and the rest of your family. So I'm glad that people are celebrating him online. Let's talk a little Terry Crews.
What? Wait, before you get that, I have one
what do you
quick
got?
question for you. I don't know, this popped in my head.
Yeah,
what if you could? Okay, so at 150, because I'm, you know,
you're still there. You're thinking about
150.
I'm like,
so, but okay, what if you could take your brain,
yes,
right, and put it into a young version, a young person? Would you want to like do some type of brain transplant where you're in the body of a 23-year-old, but you still have your brain and your Roxy in your brain?
All right. Well,
at 95.
I think
let's not go with 150. That's a little bit.
Think about it often, because I don't know if do you ever watch any of those vampire shows?
Oh yeah.
All right. So in the vampire shows, I'm always kind of stressed because there's these like 1,000-year-old vampires that are sucking face with these 20-year-old girls. And like, while I guess that's legal, you guys are in such different phases of life. Like you've lived 1,000 years, but your body looks like you're 25, and you're fucking around with these 25-year-old women or men. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do you have in common? Like you're 1,000 years old. So I don't know. I think it's a little weird. I think it'd be a little creepy if 100-year-old Roxy's brain was in this like young hot bod, and then they don't know that really I mean, I would have to be honest. I would have to be very vocal. Like, I know I look like this, but I'm 100. Like,
right. Yeah.
Because otherwise you feel like that would be like the definition of cradle robbing.
But that would be an ultimate fetish. You could have a fans only page after that. Seriously.
That's true. And obviously I do want that. Like, I don't think anybody if you ask any person on the planet, what age do you want to look like forever? I don't think anybody says 80.
No, I would probably say the majority of people will not say that.
What
if I
age?
have to guess.
What do you think it is? What is the dream age to look like?
I think it's different for men and for women.
Oh yeah, that's true. You guys get it way better than us.
Because I feel like as I get older, I get better looking. Like, and not saying I'm good looking, but I'm just
you
saying,
are
like,
very good looking. But
I
feel that
I get better looking with hair and a little something, not just my baby face. I look back at myself when I was 20 and I look like I'm 13. So I don't necessarily want that look.
So you think the best is yet to come for you? You're like,
I feel like when
wow.
I'm 50, I'm gonna be like, all right, my shit's together. Like
I
I'll
am
be like
so jealous.
stoic. That's what I
Oh
feel
my
like.
God. D,
Yeah.
fuck. I mean, like, that is so wrong that you get to look forward to your hottest years. I peaked when I was 18. This is a downhill ride for me. Like, I already was the hottest I'll ever be. Every year, I'm
I
just going to
disagree.
get slightly less attractive until finally I'm 150 and I'm kind of like a 4 foot tall, like little gremlin woman. I
See,
don't know
I'm gonna
why I keep
disagree with
doing
you.
this. Don't
I
you
know
think?
it's like it almost looks like you're doing the waterfalls from TLC dance.
Oh,
You know, like
oh,
remember the shoulder movement. Uh,
100%.
I would say to you that that is not true because this is why as well. Because standards are different now. I think when our parents were our age, like 30 and 40, were like you were about to die. It was death soon coming around the corner. But now it's like, you know, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 50-year-old women are dating 25-year-old dudes. Kate Beckinsale is dating. Kate Beckinsale is late 40s and is dating a 23-year-old, 24 year
Yeah, and she was
old.
with Pete Davidson before
She
that,
with Pete
right? Yeah.
Davidson before that. Madonna is 60 and is dating her dancer who's 25
Okay,
or
but
20.
are we just more aware of that because of social media and because we are older, or has that always been happening and the public just was not as aware of it?
I think it's just more accepting now because I feel like, you know, not to say the cliche, but like 40 is the new 30, 50 is the new 40. You know, I think that we're just in a place now where financially people have done better. They're taking care of themselves more. We have people like Kim Kardashian that we're looking up to, and you know, women are looking up to the Kardashians and Jenners, and are transforming their looks in certain ways to always stay, you know, what they consider that standard of beauty is.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just a different mindset now. So I think that back in the day, you know, when you were pushing 40, you were like, for a woman or a man, your life was a little bit different, especially probably for a woman. I hate to say it, but it's probably the
It's
truth.
true.
But
Yeah.
now it's different. Like I just feel like now, like some of the best looking women. Look at J Lo. She's 50. She looks better than most 25-year-old girls that I
But
know.
how attainable is that?
I
Every
mean,
every time somebody says to me like, "Look at J Lo," I'm like, "All right, but J Lo always had it." Like, I'm not gonna just wake up at 50 and be J Lo.
right. I mean,
I wish, but that's I don't know. And also, what you're talking about with the Kardashian look, I'm afraid too because to, I, I don't know even know how to express this, and maybe you disagree with me, but you ever look at billboards as you're going by them and feel like everyone's face looks the same now? Like
absolutely. Yeah.
literally everyone has the same nose and then the same cheeks and the lips. Like I sometimes cannot tell some of our biggest female celebrities apart from each other because I'm like, they have the same, you guys have the same doctor because your
Yeah.
face is the exact same face as each other. Like
Yeah.
there's no differentiating. That freaks me out. Like I don't want to be people are telling me now I need to start getting Botox because if you do it now, then you'll look better when you're older. Like I need my lip injections because I've got tiny little lips, which bother me. But like I don't want to start doing that to my face because I feel like I'll just end up looking. It won't even be me anymore. Like
Right.
I'll look
You
like
look
the
like
Kardashians, who are
yeah.
gorgeous, but that's
Yeah.
not what I look like.
I mean, Khloe Kardashian, her latest pictures, she looks like a completely different person. She looks beautiful, but
D.
she
Oh
looks
my
like
God.
they did this. People magazine did this like trajectory of like her from the beginning of when she first was on the Kardashians to what she looks like now. It's not even the same woman.
Human. I know.
It's. I
But
mean,
good for you if you feel good about yourself now.
good
Like if
for
that
you.
helped
Yeah,
you
yeah,
feel good about yourself, then I want you to do that. But like your face looks, I don't know. There's something about having a different face than you're supposed to have. Like I don't mean supposed to, but that you were born. I'm supposed to have this face because this is the face that I was born with. So then
yeah.
if I actively do something different to change it, that's cool as long as it makes me happier. But I don't know that I'm supposed to have the same face as all the other faces. Like what if we all
Right.
just look
Yeah.
the same? That would be
Yeah.
freaky.
Yeah.
I
And I
I
mean,
don't even know why I
listen.
tangented in that, but
No, no, it's
anyway.
all good. I get it. I feel like, listen, I'm all about if you need to do a little surgery to make yourself feel better about
Do it.
yourself. There are certain things on my face, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I would get Botox in 2 seconds. You know, I when I do This Is LA,
You
I actually
wait,
had a
what? You have
look,
no
look at that, look at that. There's a
look what
little look at that, and
Daryl,
look, look, look,
but
look,
look what
look.
you're doing to do that.
I'm just saying, it's
that's not
there
your face. Anybody, you could be 5 years old, and if you go like this, you have wrinkles. Like you just
Right.
literally had to morph your face to try to show me what it would look like. Your face, you don't have a wrinkle.
I mean, I got some wrinkles. They're just fine, or at least fine lines. Not wrinkles per se, but fine lines. And I'm conscious of that. But I mean, when I was doing this, when I do This Is LA, there was a segment I had where they put me with a Botox doctor and they let me try it on air. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I did it, it wore off after 6 weeks, but like it 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 did some things. I noticed. I was like, wow.
Really?
I was
Wait,
like, wow.
afterwards though, did you feel like, because I hear once you start, you cannot stop. I don't know whether that's an addictive personality thing or whether your face doesn't go back to the same way, but like, did you feel like after that you were like, I gotta keep doing this?
I'm not gonna lie. When it finally wore off, because it lasted literally for like 6 weeks, right? So when it finally wore off and I started to see it wear off, I was like, oh shit, I need to go back. Like I got to keep this going. But then you start to realize how expensive it is to maintain that. Even for me, just simple, like doing some of that simple Botox. You know what I mean? And I can't even imagine like I know people are getting fillers and
All of it.
and lip injections and pulling their faces back and doing all kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's a costly adventure.
Very expensive. You got to make a friend with somebody. A lot of my friends that get a lot of filler, they know someone who knows someone. I just finally, for the first time, this is not filler, but you get them at the same place that they do, because I guess it's technically like a procedure. I just started getting laser hair removal because
Is that painful?
Not at all, but let me tell you why. I, for the last 10 years, have plucked every armpit hair of mine every day. And I'm a Jewish woman, so we hairy. Like, that's not like I know that I spend money to make myself look like this blonde Cali girl. No, I am like, Russian, Hungarian, Jewish, hairy bitch. So plucking every single armpit hair every day for the last 10 years, I'm completely numb in my armpits. So when I went to go, I finally don't want to pluck them every day. I don't want to do it. So I went to go get the laser hair removal, and I literally have no feeling here anymore. Like there was nothing. She was like, that's not hurting at all. And I was like, I literally can't feel it. Like I have no idea. And all my friends say it's very painful. So I don't want to be the person who tells you guys it's not painful, then you go and it is, and you're like, Roxy, what the fuck? But I felt nothing. Like I felt legit nothing.
I'm still at the plucking because it just seems that that's.
I know. It's so just so you know how not crazy you are, I don't know a single other human being who does this. Like it's not like an alternative to shaving. Some women pluck. Everybody I know shaves their armpits. But I was getting these like, I have sensitive skin. When I would shave my armpits, I would get these like boils that would be like bleeding and bumped and like all this shit. And I was like, I don't want, like, I felt embarrassed to raise my arms. They would be like bloody and blistered. And so I started one day at the beginning, I was like through the tears, like plucking every hair. And then it got easier over time. So true life, I'm a plucker. Mother plucker.
A mother plucker.
I'm a mother plucker.
Beauty hurts.
You got to do what you got to do. You did mention This Is LA, and I wanted to ask you about that because where are you at right now? Like, what are you in between seasons? Do we know that there is another? What's happening? Because obviously COVID fucked everything up.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting time. I mean, theoretically, I started shooting the season at the beginning of the year in January. Usually the seasons go from around March through May, then the summer's off, and then they start again in August because there's like multiple cities that they cover. So for LA, this particular one, that it would have ended in May, and then it starts back up like around August through October. But because of COVID, I literally shot 2 segments and it's been shut down. Now, what's cool about it is that my producer for This Is LA, he actually started a spinoff show that's going to be on Amazon Prime. And it's called Destination TV. So he has brought me on to host on that. So I'm the curbside, because of COVID, he created a curbside pickup section for the show. So I'm the curbside pickup guy. So I just shot like 3 restaurants Saturday all day long, doing curbside pickup and hosting for that.
Wait, you didn't tell me. I mean, this is a new gig.
It's a new gig. Yeah. It just kind of all happened. It just happened like really quickly. Yeah. It's
So
because
how
it's
is
my
it going? What is the curbside LA experience been? I know LA is not doing very well right now, so curbside seems
Yeah.
like something we very much so need.
We definitely
Um,
do. It's weird though because of COVID, I can't do I do all the segments in my car. So it's me and a camera guy, and I literally go and do a little segment like at the restaurant doing the curbside pickup with my mask. It's very protected, and then I go to my car and because the whole point of the show is for me to talk about the food. So I'm literally sitting in the car with my food and like talking about it. Like I had and each restaurant gives me the food. So it's like the first one was a pizza place. So I'm sitting in my car with this big ass pizza box, like talking to the camera guy about the food, and then the next place was like it's called Hotville Chicken, which is amazing. And they give me like these big chicken sandwiches with like coleslaw and fries. And I'm literally trying to shove this down my mouth as I'm delivering the copy in the car. So COVID has changed the entire game because normally I would have, for these type of shows, I would be in the restaurant. I would be interviewing the
yeah,
restaurant owners and employees, but I can't do that now because what am I going to do? Like we can't even understand each other when we're talking to
the
in front of each
mask.
other with a mask.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing though how quickly they were able to morph and like figure out a new series and make it work because a
Yeah,
lot of shows right now, I feel like this is either a time in which you become innovative or
yeah.
you get, not to be mean, but or you get a little lazy where it's like, well, we'll wait until whatever. Not you specifically, Daryl. I mean,
No, I know.
people like the entertainment industry, they're either
Yeah,
innovative and they're like, okay, how can we make our show still work? Or it's like, well, we'll take this break and like
yeah.
whenever we come back, we'll figure it out. And it's like I love the shows that are being innovative and are figuring out a way to make it work. And sometimes it makes shows even cooler because they are able to figure out things that are like relatable. Like I want to watch a show where somebody's getting food curbside and eating it in their car and talking about it because that's what I'm doing right now. Like
Right.
so I want that's the experience that I want. So I love that you're doing that. When are people able to see that? Do you have any idea?
We're filming now, so I'll find out when. We're just at the beginning of filming, so it'll probably be another month before it actually airs.
Awesome.
But I'll let you know when. So you can put
Just
it out
follow
there.
him right there and he'll tweet
Follow
it
me
out
right
or
there. I'll tweet
social
it
it
right
out.
there. Let's see if I put my hand right here. Will that do it? There we go.
100%. By the way, just thinking about your social media for a second, I'm so proud and impressed. I remember all those years ago when we sat down and we're talking about your social game. I mean, you've just crushed it in the last few years, which is amazing.
Well, I'm trying to follow after your footsteps. It's a lot of work, this social media stuff. I mean, I half the time I don't even want to post anything, and I know I have to.
I
And
know.
or I'm trying to find, the ultimate great picture, what I think is a good picture, and then post that. It's stressful. It's
It
just
is.
stressful.
It's very stressful. And also during this time, trying to navigate what is appropriate and what is also like you have to keep growing your following. So, like, but there for over a month, I didn't post anything of myself because I'm only posting BLM or about
Yeah,
Pride Month or all this stuff. And then all of a sudden the other day, I like posted a picture of me. And then I was like, is this weird? Like,
yeah,
is it weird that I just posted a picture of myself? But then I was like, I think as long as I continue to post the things that I believe in, like I'd still have a show, so I still need to like promote myself. I don't know. I'm having a hard time navigating like what it feels wrong and what feels okay.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It took me a while. In this whole COVID period right now, it took me a while to really post a lot of things. It's a very interesting time because on one regard, I just found myself being so just all over the place with my emotions, like in the last few months, or last month really. One minute I'm angry, one minute I'm kind of numb, one minute I want to cry, So that reflected my social media, and I had actually people who were talking to me even about like they're like, hey, I noticed you haven't really been posting things lately, and I'm like, listen, I'm just so emotionally drained from it, just and after looking at the images all day, it really affected me, and I'm watching the news all day, and I'm obviously just upset about the racial injustice that's going on right now, and or has been going on forever, and that it's come to its peak now, and our president, the way he's responding to things, it all affected me with my social media. It made me not want to post anything, and I was nervous. I was like, how can I post a picture of me smiling in the middle of a
I
fucking
know.
racial war? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that didn't settle well with me, so I kind of figured out a way to kind of combine both. So now I feel like, okay, I put up my feelings about what's going on with Black Lives Matter and everything, all the unfortunate people who have been killed by police officers and things that have been going on. I found a way to balance that along with me putting a couple of personal things in there, at the end of the day.
You talked about all those emotions that you felt. What do you feel like is the one that seems to today be the one that you're feeling most? Like what, now that there has been not space because it's happening every single day, but now that we've been living in this for a little bit, what is the emotion that you tend to feel most often?
Actually, it's very interesting. And right now I'm kind of a little bit numb, to be honest with you, because it's like, as a Black man, I've dealt with these things for years and years and years, and none of these things are a surprise to any of us who are African American, because most of us have dealt with these issues. But but it's been nice in one regard to see people step up and want to get involved who normally probably would not have, and to have a voice and help lead our voices as well and support our voices in this process. But right now it's like I'm kind of numb, because every day it's still something else that's happening. Like we still are finding out about murders. There's still a lot, there's still so many things that are happening that we hear about on a day-to-day basis that, even the report yesterday of the Karen and Ken that they show, who are in St. Louis, and they were walking outside with their guns. And I know there's a whole debate on what they're saying now. They're kind of like backtracking right now and saying, well, no, we support Black Lives Matter. We were just nervous because there's this angry mob came and knocked down our fences in our street. We're on our street. And I'm like, really? Like, from what I understand and for what they were showing on TV, there was no angry mobs. It was just a bunch of people.
Because anybody can say whatever, make up whatever they want. And at the end of the day, too, I saw a pretty poignant post the other day that was like, it's pretty cool that a lot of companies are hiring more Black employees, and it's pretty cool that people are elevating Black voices, and it's pretty cool that funds are being donated to X, Y, and Z. But also, can we arrest the cops that have murdered all of these Black men and women? And that's like the thing that I just keep coming back to. And I don't know if you feel the same way, Dee, but it's just like, it's great that society is starting to make changes. Definitely too little and definitely too late, but better late than never that changes are coming. But also some of the biggest changes that are being fought for are the ones that are not happening.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's like, when people say things like, what more does the movement want? It's like, what are you talking about? Like the changes haven't happened.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're still waiting to hear what's going to happen to the cops in several of the cases that are out there right now.
Right.
It's great that Target is donating money to whatever for Black people. Listen, those things are great. The change needs to happen. The good thing is that through these terrible acts, it forced people to have to make a change, whether they wanted to or not. So that's a great thing. But we still need to go back and deal with the issues at hand of why we're protesting and why people are upset. People of color are still upset, and what that really means.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's talk a little Terry Crews here, because Terry Crews, who has managed to put his foot in his mouth a couple of times, as I mentioned, is being, I got to say, slammed. He's being slammed right now for suggesting that Black Lives Matter could morph into Black Lives Better. I don't know where he's getting that from. I don't think that anybody has said that. He's just being predicting what he is afraid of. He said in a tweet, he said, "If you are a child of God, you are my brother and sister. I have family of every race, creed, and ideology. We must ensure hashtag Black Lives Matter doesn't morph into hashtag Black Lives Better." And Bernice King responded, obviously the daughter of Martin Luther King Jr., and said, "Justice is not a competition," which is so true. Like, where are you getting the word better from? And I don't even know, like, what do you make of this, Dee? Why do you think he's saying this? And how do you feel about the fact that he is saying it?
I mean, listen, this has been a tough year with Terry and social media. Personally, Terry is like Trump to me. Just stay the hell away from texting anything from your phone. Let's just start there. Okay. So, Terry's made several statements throughout this year, going back to Gabrielle Union and his kind of back and forth with her after her exit from America's Got Talent,
right,
to, even recent BLM posts that he's done. I don't know. I feel like Terry needs to either have someone proofread his shit before he puts it up, because it just doesn't make sense once he puts it out. It's like, I don't know if he's trying to, in his mind, it looks and sounds totally different than what's actually being presented on his tweet. But when I was reading this story, once again, I was like, why is he comparing these two? What does this have to do with the other? I was looking for a quote in there, so as I was quickly reading through it, of someone who maybe said that and compared it to that,
like prompted him in any kind of way
to say it, but it doesn't seem to be anything. So I'm like, it's almost like it's all up in Terry's head. So it's like, Terry, what are you trying to say?
And if somebody did say it, then say, the other day I saw somebody say this.
Yeah.
And my response to that is, but like, so maybe it was just in his head, but I don't know.
It was very confusing.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. And I don't, and no offense, but no one made Terry Crews the black. I mean, listen, everyone's got a Fifth Amendment. You can express yourself however you want, but Terry Crews does not, speak for all the black people. You know what I mean? Because we don't even understand half the things he's saying on this tweet. In fact, he's gotten dragged through this whole year basically by black people. So my advice to him is maybe just have a proofreader or just stop tweeting.
Do you think when he tweeted that, he was like, yeah, people are going to like this one? Like, do you think he was like, I'm totally going to get support on this one. Yeah. Everybody feels me. Or do you think he tweeted it being like, oh, I know I'm going to get some heat for this, but this is how I feel?
I mean, I feel like he, in his mind, put this together and thought, okay, what I'm trying to say is I don't want this message to be lost. I don't want Black Lives Matter to be lost into something else. I feel like legit that might be where he was trying to think or trying to convey in his text. It just didn't come across that way. So I think that he actually was like, I'm speaking for the people. People, I support the people. I'm about the people, and this is what's going to happen. And they're going to support me.
That's the saddest part that I agree. The saddest part is that he was probably like, I've got this.
I got this. They're going to love me. Yes. They're going to be like, yes, Terry Crews, yes. And we were like, no.
Every time he tries that, it's like, no, come on.
Epic fail. Fail. How many fails do you need before you just call it quits? Like, just be a host.
I wonder what the answer to that question is. A lot of people seem to need an infinite amount. Like, there's no amount of fails that somebody like a Trump has that's going to stop him from tweeting. Because clearly, if there was an amount, he did it. Yeah. We're past that. Did you see the other day? I think Independent was the one who ran it. That there's theories that Trump might drop out of the presidential race because if he believes he can't win, he's going to drop.
I've heard that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I don't know if his ego would let him.
I feel like
not go all the way, because I feel like he's still going to go. His ego wouldn't let him stop.
Unless he was like, I got an amazing, huge other opportunity. It's a huge opportunity, and I can't turn it down. The presidency was great. I did it. We know I would have won again, but this other opportunity I can't tell you about is huge. Like
that was really good, Ross.
No, my Trump needs work. My Trump needs work.
But the
words, right?
The words were.
I wrote a script. That's what the tweet's gonna say. And then no opportunity ever came. Let's go into the super chat for a second. Chris Lemchi was sending bunnies. On this show, bunnies is how we send love. It was a weird way that it started. I'm not even really sure how to explain it, but I appreciate your bunnies. Also, Noah Denman, thank you for the support. Appreciate that as well. We got questions that have come in here for Derrial that I want to get to. Chris Martinez said, hey, Roxy and Derrial, I hope you're both having a great day. What do you believe is the biggest obstacle to getting widespread diversity in movies and TV? Is it writing, casting, producing, something else? And how can we overcome it? Thanks. So this is a massive question to try to figure out the answer to, but I would love to hear your thoughts, D. What do you think is the biggest obstacle?
Well, it's funny. We talk about this. So I have a hot topic show called The Trend for Black Hollywood Live that I do every Thursday at 5:00. So everybody tune in. But
Love that
talk about
plug.
this.
Everybody
You like that
do
plug,
it.
right?
Yeah.
But we do talk about this topic, and we've talked about it several times. In order to make that change, to answer this question, it's Chris, right? Chris.
Yeah, Chris Martinez.
To make that change, we have to be behind the camera, in front of the camera, writing in the writing rooms. We have to be producing. A lot of people come into this game and just want to be the actor, and that's great. Like acting, that's great. But in order to make a real change, it has to come from decision behind the camera with the decision makers. It starts with studio execs. It starts with the writing team. It starts with the producing team. It starts with the director. All of those factors, there needs to be diversity in all those arenas for a change to really be made. Now, I do think that we are in the process of doing that. We see more women working behind the camera, not just in front of the camera. We see more people of color working behind in front of the camera. I think that we've already gone through the process of Oscars So White, which we've talked about for several years. And I think that we are starting to now see the effects of that the people who got involved with that and started to make those changes. It's going to take a while, but I see a little bit of change. But most of the time we can't just be in front of the camera. We got to be able to be decision makers, be in the rooms, be an agent, but once again, be the writer, create your own show, create your own content, be the director. You can act and direct, produce the content. That's where the real change is going to be made.
Basically, you're telling people to Issa Rae that shit.
Issa Rae the fuck out of that shit.
It's interesting that you mentioned about being the decision makers, because I feel like this was a decision made super duper clearly by white people, agents being allowed to vote in the Oscars, and people thinking that that's going to add somehow a diversity to the people who are voting. I've been in Hollywood for 10 years. Dee, you've been out here for a really long time. I can count on like one hand the amount of female agents I know, and maybe even less than one hand the amount of Black agents that I know. Like there's just such a small amount of women and people of color who are agents. So I feel like they're making this decision for a different reason, but it seems very problematic. What do you think about the fact that agents can now vote for even their own clients to win an Oscar?
Yeah, let's kind of piggybacking off of what you said. I just don't think it's going to make that much of a difference if you're trying to diversify the voting process. You're much better off creating little small pockets of different individuals outside of, I already know that, of course, they have the actors who are voting and there's certain producers and that type of thing. But you need to open it up to something bigger than just the agents. And personally, because there's, like you said, there's only a hand select number of top Black agents and managers that I know, and it's getting better. There's more. There's people like Charles King at Macro who's doing big things, and he's hiring people of color to be agents and to produce projects, and those things are great. But there's still a small, minute amount.
Just so small. It's not like there's more women or people of color agents than there are actors. Like,
right.
Just add more people of color and women to the voting process. Why agents? Yeah. It's just you're making this so complicated when it's so simple. But why? Oh, you know what we could do? Add agents. That will solve the problem. Just like, who's making these decisions? This is like just beyond me. Going back to something we were talking about earlier, Lewis Cox said, "Roxy, you absolutely don't need to do that. You're beautiful in every single way." I think talking about the Botox and the fillers. Oh. I'm sure I will at some point if I get unhappy with something. But I just also am broke as a joke, and I don't want to start something I can't complete, and I'm freelance. So like, if I book a gig and I'm like, oh, let me go put filler in my face, and then I stop, and then my face looks different. Like, it's nothing against it. I just I don't know, kind of, and the needles in my face thing. The whole thing kind of freaks me out.
It's actually not so bad.
It didn't hurt?
Nah, it's like a little pinch. Like, just a little pinch.
Well, if my laser didn't hurt, then I doubt that does either. Hey, Roxy, let's rock, says Lewis Cox. I feel like we are rocking. But hell yeah, let's rock. Going back to questions in the Patreon. This one's coming from Weston Ira, who says, hashtag Roxariel, which is apparently our ship name,
I like that.
is the duo we need, not the duo we deserve. Oh, that's sweet, I think.
Is that a compliment?
I think so. Like the thing we
let me say it in
need,
my head. The thing we need, not what we deserve.
like
Okay.
like we're better than they deserve. I don't know, but
Okay.
Weston, I'm into you.
I'm gonna spin it to the positive. Yes,
for
that's
sure.
positive.
Welcome to the party. That's to you, D. BLM activism seems to be as important now as it was in the 60s. However, after an officer in Detroit was seen on video driving into peaceful protesters recently, are you worried about an increase in retaliation like that causing legitimate damage to the BLM movement?
Absolutely. As we have joked about this, and they've become very famous memes across the country, are Karens and Kens. And we have our Karens and Kens that I'm worried about, that are, and not only Karens and Kens, it's also this is giving people, everything that's going on right now is giving people the opportunity to show their true colors. For example, the Trump supporters, like the one who was the other day that had the guy who said white power on the video, and then Trump retweeted it, and then he said that he didn't see that they said white power. But this is
how do you be the president and you retweet something that you didn't see? You fucking psycho. That can't be true, but okay.
When you say that you read everything and you know everything that you tweet, you've gone on record saying that, so you're contradicting yourself. First of all, already, let's just start there. Sorry, there is a truck that is outside, so if you hear
is it my exterminator
truck, it's the garbage truck. So out of all the time for them to come, if you hear it, I apologize. No, it should be quick.
That's okay.
But real life people, we real life.
Yeah, we're doing it live.
Doing it live. But I do think there's going to be more retaliation. I think that this racial war is going to get bigger before it gets smaller. Yes, we have a lot of people who are stepping up, who are white people, who is great, and I have some friends who, I have a really good friend who is taking her kids to each protest, and she's a white woman. Her husband is a white Australian man, and she wants her kids to. They're holding their Black Lives Matter, posters up, and they're like 5 and 6, and I love that because that's what they're going to grow up to, and they'll be the ones who help to change this narrative. But there's also those people that look what obviously happened to Ahmaud Arbery, Ahmaud Arbery, and that's gonna. Those things are still. They're still going to happen because there's still a lot of white supremacy out there and they're scared now. Like these people are scared because they think, wait a minute, I'm losing my white power. And I hate to say that, but it's truth.
No, I don't think you should hate to say that.
Well, it's truth. You're right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
so,
I actually don't. Yeah, you're right.
That's the truth.
Things need to be shaken up, and it's shaken up, and a lot of people are scared of the shake up, and they're going to react off of that. So we're going to have, unfortunately, more things that are going to be down the line that aren't going to be good, I think.
Hearing you say that makes me my heart hurt, but also anybody who has any sense of realisticness would agree. Because of course this is not smooth sailing. Obviously, going into the Streamlabs, some comments coming in. Glenn Caesar said, "Hello, Roxy and Derrial. Thanks for doing the show today with us, Derrial. Glad to have you live at the Roxy and in the Rockstars band. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the conversation, getting to know you." He wrote this several, maybe 30 minutes ago. "I hope you have the best Tuesday that you possibly can." Well, I guess that
was very nice.
We'll try to have the best Tuesday. Do you have
so
any Tuesday things going on? You got any good things?
Like when you say Tuesday things going on,
like today, you got anything good going on? I don't know. Just if you're gonna have the best day you can.
I just I actually just had a Zoom call with a potential a Go Green show that they're considering me doing, which is cool. So that's cool. And then at 3:00 I have a men in industry panel that's taking place on the Zoom. You can go to my social media and see all the details on where you can zoom in. But it's a mix of 6 different guys in different aspects of the industry: podcast guys, producers, media, across the board. And it's 6 of us, and we're going to have a conversation about how media is shifting with what the current situation is in the world with racial relations.
Sounds like everybody needs to be there. It's on your Instagram.
If you go to my
now?
social media,
okay.
it's at 3 p.m. Pacific, so you can get all the details there.
Oh,
for the
you're
Zoom.
busy today.
Today has been my interview day, but I kind of like it like this. It makes me
Banging
feel
them
important.
all out back to
It makes me
back.
feel important.
Thank you to Jake Yakoveta in here for reminding me to talk about this. He said, I know we all donate to several causes, but Taylor Palmer is a fan who lost his young daughter last November. He and his wife, Chelsea, set up a fund to help families who've lost loved ones. If you can please help out. And then he gave the link. If you put the link in here right now, Jake, I will throw it up. We have had a lot of people, a lot of the rock stars have experienced extreme tragedy during this time. Tragedy that is either related or is not related to BLM, COVID. You guys know Brandy lost her father on Father's Day, and that's has broken all of our hearts. And I know she's got her GoFundMe, and I'm happy that Jake, you want to share Taylor Palmer's. It's a tough time for everybody. I'm going to put this in here right now, but if you guys are able to, please try to support the people who are in here supporting us all of the time. I know we're all like in our last dollars in our wallets. And hopefully as things open up, people start to be able to make a livelihood a little more. But Jake, thank you for reminding me to say that. I appreciate that. And Taylor, our hearts are with you. Shout out also in here to Gregory Castillo. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Changing tunes a little bit here. D, have you watched, I don't know what your TV game is these days. Are you a Curb Your Enthusiasm or an Ozark person?
I watch both.
You like both, or you watch both?
I watch both. I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm for years, and Ozark is my jam. Like I went back and watched the entire season over from the beginning. That's how much I love it. Jason Bateman is the truth. He's and Lauren, who plays his wife on the show.
Laura Linney. Yeah.
That show just, I just saw that they're coming back for the final season, but season 4.
But at least we're getting another one. Because as a massive, I love both of these shows, but I really do think that Ozark is like a top 3 show on TV. I think it's just so phenomenal. And so they're coming back, but it's like one season, but extended with the part A, part B, which is what Breaking Bad did. And a lot of people do. I think that's probably a contractual thing. They don't want to pay actors for 2 seasons. So you set a rate for 1 season and then or same thing with the rest of the crew. But I'm happy we're getting that. For Curb, how do you feel about the fact that we just signed on to 11th season? That's a lot of seasons to have a show. Were you a fan of the 10th season? Have you checked it out yet?
I haven't watched all of it, but I have watched some of it. Listen, I think Larry David is just hilarious. It's just one of those shows. I think it's one of those shows that either you love it or you don't, and I love it. I think it's Larry cracks me up, and it's such a dry sense of humor that you either, like I say, you either love it or you don't. I've always loved Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I have too.
This season, so far, it's good. It's good. I still like some of the older seasons more, but I do like this season.
I hear you. I think it's very strong, but some of the older stuff just has me in tears half the time. Incredible. What are you watching right now? Are you spending time watching TV right now, or are you not able to?
No, I am. I'm actually, but I had to go to my old Netflix wish list or my list because there were so many things. You can make your own list on Netflix, you.
Oh, the queue.
The queue, you make your own queue of shows that you want to watch. So, I have been watching Penny Dreadful.
What'd you think? I watched Penny Dreadful. Back in the day, I covered it for AfterBuzz.
Yeah, I just started the 2nd season, so I like it. I'm one of those people. I like horror and dark. That's why.
Yeah, it's crazy. That show's effed up.
Oh, it's messed up. Yeah, but I like it a lot. It's so many twists. Peaky Blinders I was watching.
I started Peaky Blinders during COVID too. I haven't been watching it recently, but I'm on the season 2 and I want to get back in because that show is amazing.
It's amazing. The Last Kingdom, I finished that.
Any good?
I'm a Game of Thrones type of guy, and I needed something to fulfill that void. So it was between that and Vikings, but Vikings was a little bit longer, so I started Last Kingdom first. Which is really good. What else have I been watching?
Are you not doing any comedies?
Schitt's Creek.
So good.
I like Schitt's Creek.
Good.
It's so funny. As much as I do like comedy, I like a lot more comedy specials. Dave Chappelle and
Yeah, of course.
and Tiffany Haddish's with my girl Ida Rodriguez, like We Here, like that. Like I like those type of specials versus like watching comedies.
And
I'm more
during
of a
COVID,
dark.
it's so easy to like pop one on, be done with it. You watched it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
don't have to keep up.
Yeah, I don't want to I already have like 30 things on my queue. I don't need to add any more, even though I just added like 3 things, but it's okay.
What are you finding? Because I think it's interesting right now. Most of the people I talk to are either watching only comedies or watching only dramas. Like some of the people, because we're in such a dark place in this world, are right now watching mostly dramas because they're like, I don't like, how am I supposed to laugh during this time? Some people are only watching comedies because they want to only, laugh during this time. As a content creator, I'm finding it challenging to figure out like tonally. It's kind of like the Instagram conversation we were having before, but like when you're making your videos and when you're doing things, like how are you finding that you're able to figure out what tone you can kind of have on different shows like The Trend or any of the things that you're working on?
Yeah, I mean it's all about mood right now because it depends on my mood of the day, to be totally honest with you, because the other night I wanted to watch the Jerry Epstein documentary, and I was
Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich.
Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, Filthy Rich.
I just did it.
I wanted to, but then I had that moment right when I clicked play. I was like, I can't do this tonight. It's too much. It's too heavy. Today was too. It was too much in the day. Like I can't. I got to switch it up. So then I went to Penny Dreadful instead. But it's all about mood. Because obviously because we we're hosting journalists all day. We're reading stories. And I have to watch myself too, because even when I'm working in the background, I have CBS News on, I have CNN on, I have ABC News on. So it's like even if I'm not watching it, it's still in my space. And everything is all about right now about with politics and BLM and racial injustice, and so that reflects what I watch at night, because sometimes I just want to have a glass of wine, and I know this sounds crazy, but horror movies actually take me to my happy space.
You're not the first person who said that. I think that it's so funny. Like for me, I live by myself. I watch a horror movie at night. I'm up all night. I'm like, fuck everybody. And I sleep with a knife next to my bed, and I'm just like so afraid. But like, for some people, they're like, it makes me feel calm. What?
Yeah.
Why?
When there's someone running through the forest with a person with a knife and they're about to get stabbed, it actually takes me to a tranquil place. I don't know. Is that a problem of mine? Maybe I need some therapy.
Unclear, but like I don't think you're alone, which is like the strangest part of that. Everybody's got something different. Although I will say, and I've told you guys at home this before, but like when I'm feeling the most depressed that I'm ever feeling depressed, the movie that I put on is Schindler's List, because it makes me feel better about the current state of like whatever thing I'm feeling depressed about. I'm like, Rox, get the fuck off your ass. Like, your people have been through worse. You can fucking deal with whatever thing you're dealing with right now, Rox. So like, I feel you kind of in terms of a weird thing bringing calm to you. I know that sounds insane, but like sometimes, I don't know, just like not escapism, but like perspective or like weird thing, something that makes your brain go back to flat, like, so that you're not, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching what's that special now on Netflix called Pandemic, even though everyone tells me to watch it, about like basically
I don't even know what that is.
It's basically pretty much talking about COVID, pretty much, and I'm not ready to watch that because I'm like, we live it right now. If it's too much reality, am I worried about Jason Voorhees running after me or Freddy Krueger running after me in the forest? Not so much. Am I worried about going to Ralph's and contracting a deadly virus? Yes. Yeah. So I don't want to necessarily watch that on my television right now, unless it's telling me how the hell not to get it.
I hear you, but also like, do you follow Hasan Minhaj at all?
No.
Hasan Minhaj has a show on Netflix called Patriot Act, and he is a amazing stand-up, but he does this show. It's kind of like Last Week Tonight, like John Oliver's show, but
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
He picks certain topics, and he does such a great job. And his COVID one, I wanted to skip it because I was like, fuck this. I know what COVID is. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to hear how bad it is. Like, but then I watched it, and there was so much information there that I feel like, because we are receiving so much information, it's hard for me to retain things and also know what's fact. And so sometimes I need like a succinct thing being like, here is why COVID is such an issue. Instead of like every 5 minutes hearing on the news, this amount of people are going to the hospital in this place, but in this place they're doing better, but in this place and 19 times more likely to get it if you're indoors and outdoors, and you can't eat at the restaurants, but you need to support the restaurants, and you need like it's too
much. Yeah. It's overkill.
I'm not like, my brain is not computing. And if my brain's not computing, there must be other brains that are not computing what's going on right now.
Yeah.
What is your current COVID stance? What is your current COVID? Like, are you going outside at all? Are you going out to eat at all? Are you going shopping at all? Or are you mostly indoor?
Well, I've been baby stepping this because at the beginning I was freaked out. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was not. When I went to Ralph's, it was like I was going to war. I had like my winter coat on and it was 80 degrees. I was ready to fight COVID.
Yeah, and then specifically Ralph's. Do you remember they came out with that story? Like 18 of their employees had COVID and they hid it or whatever. That's like sketchy ass shit. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. I think we're gonna find a lot of places that are doing that or have done that. But then, friends were inviting me to like social distancing events and I was always saying no. But then one friend, they had me over, it's a couple and they have a really big front yard in mid-Wilshire area. And they had just 8 people. Everyone had to bring their own food and their own wine. And they set chairs out 6 feet away from everybody. You had to keep your mask on. And we just all sat in the front in a circle and talked. And it was after 2 months of just like not being around anyone.
That must have been the best feeling on the planet.
It was the best. And we did it for just 2 hours. We didn't even go like, crazy, like 8-hour rage. We just kept it cool and simple. And it actually opened me up to want to do it more. So then I've been doing smaller ones. Now, Sunday, I went to a friend's barbecue and it was supposed to just be 10 people and it ended up being 20 people. And I'm not going to lie, I had so many, I kind of took a break from drinking because I felt like I was drinking during COVID a lot. I
don't think you're alone. A lot of people,
what I mean? So I decided to kind of take a break from that. And I drank Sunday because I started to get stressed out. I actually started to get anxieties because of so many people being there. Like it was weird. And me, I'm super social. Like I love people. I love being around people. But like this was stressing me out to know that there were 20 people. And then I'm like, oh my God, our cases are going back up. Like what's going on? You know what I mean? So
I know.
It's weird. It's just weird.
And LA is really not doing
outside of taking my show.
That's the annoying thing right now. So a little window into my personal life, because I haven't told you guys this yet, but so everybody knows I'm obsessed with my Grammy. I take care of my Grammy and Papo, and my Grammy is like making plans to go do things, like go to lunch with her girlfriends, and she's 92. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? She went and got her hair done. I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, you can't do those things. But what am I supposed to do? Chain her to the door? Like, she's like, you can't stop me. I've lived 92 years of my life. You think you're going to tell me what to do? And it's like, I guess not. But like, and this is what I say to her that finally gets her sometimes. I go, you sound like Trump, who she obviously hates. And she's like, don't say that to me. But it's like, what are people doing? Like people who are going to these indoor restaurants 7 days a week now, like, what are we talking about?
That's why our cases are increased, and it's an interesting thing too, because it's like, there's the young mentality, like the, teenage, very early 20s mentality, like, I can't get this, I'm immune to this. And then there's like the older, like 70, 80s mentality of like, I've lived my years, I'm not worried about this. And then there's like the middle, you know what I mean? Like, I just found out my 13-year-old cousin has COVID. I found out 2 days ago.
No way.
She's asymptomatic, but she's been around.
So how did she find out?
Her mom is a school teacher who's my cousin, and she took her to the school for something, I don't remember what. And there was a woman there who they ended up finding out she had COVID. So they tested my cousin and my cousin's daughter and found out that my cousin's daughter has COVID. And then we all freaked out because she's been around my grandmother who's 84 years old, And it's like,
did your grandma get tested?
She's getting tested now. We just found out literally, what's today? Tuesday? We found out yesterday.
That is my biggest fear. My biggest fear is that I'm going to get it somehow from groceries or whatever and be asymptomatic and give it to my grandparents because I have to go take care of them. But like, it's like, I'm so afraid of that. But then what the fuck am I afraid of if you're going getting your hair done? Then it's like not on me.
Yeah, hair and nail places. They're like those are the two biggest places that we should be avoiding right
I
now.
know, I know. I saw in New York, there's like new ways of getting your nails done where you put your hands through these holes and it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
complete shield. It's like
yeah.
such a strange, it's just such a strange, I don't know.
It's a strange time. Listen, I want to
Yeah,
go to my barber so bad and get a fade, but like I just cut it all off because I can only cut my hair bald. I can't do any real styling with it because I don't know how to cut hair. But I
yeah.
want to go to my barber so bad, and I actually freaked out because he told me he's back in the shop cutting hair, and so I was like, oh, I need a haircut so bad. It was like a knee jerk reaction. He's like, oh, cool. What day do you want to come in? I'm back in the shop, and I was like, I totally ghosted him because I
Oh my
realized
God.
no,
Do
I
you have to
ghosted my barber.
respond?
I
You can't
ghosted my
ghost, you
barber.
cannot go be the guy that ghosts your barber.
I ghosted my barber
Just
because
respond to
I
him.
know I need to respond. I know, but I was like, when he said, it became real. When he said, when do you want to come in? I was like, oh, I can't come in. He's like, how, he can't be that close to my face
I
because he's
know.
gonna have to take my mask off to shave my beard. I
I know.
can't. I'll freak out.
I did after my Grammy went and got her hair done. I was like, if she can do this, I can do this. But I was the first, my hairdresser took me as she is with her grandma. I'm with my grandma. She has kids. And she took me as her first client back. And it was just the two of us. And I was like, still freaking the out. I was like,
Yeah.
is this okay? Is this okay? And like masks on the entire time as I'm getting foils, standing so far away, like didn't even cut my hair because we couldn't get like that close. So it was just like out here holding things, it was so funny. And also
Yeah.
thank God I was okay. But like even that, I was just like, I don't know, just even if it's just the two of us, even if you have been, there's always an added risk. It's scary as hell.
It's scary times. Who knew?
And
And now we're going back under quarantine.
people, I know.
We can't even go to the beach this weekend now for the 4th of July.
Oh, is that true?
Closed. Yeah, the beaches are closed.
What are you going to do for the 4th?
I'm actually supposed to be going to Joshua Tree on Saturday.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
really fun. I need your
Yeah.
friends. I want to come.
I'm going. Yeah, two of my close friends. They were like, "Let's do a road trip. Let's get the hell out of here. We can't go to the beach. Let's go to Joshua Tree." And I was like, "You know what? I've never been. Let's do it."
I don't really feel like celebrating America this 4th. Can we call it something else?
Yeah, we need to call it something else. Let's come up with a name.
Yeah, we need something because like I'm not down with 4th of July. Like I want to celebrate I would like to like take a little stress off and do something fun, but because it's the 4th, but I don't really want to celebrate what the 4th stands for because it's like we're not living up to that. Like
we are not.
We're just not. So it doesn't deserve our attention. We can get drunk anyway, though. Are you still not going to be drinking then?
No, I'm drinking this weekend.
Okay.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. It's prerequisite.
Going back, Katie, I forgot to read this one. Katie Robinson, the Good Witch, said, Roxy, as someone who's watched you for years, believe me, you definitely the hottest you've been now. Yeah, I did go through D, you knew me in a different phase.
Different stages. Yeah.
I was definitely on more drugs. So I was like bigger bags under my eyes. C, a little bit thicker. D, had the brown hair. Hadn't figured out how to put on the makeup. It's kind of like my grandma stands, kind of like gremlined around a little bit, like that. So thank you, Katie. But I'm telling you,
your look is good. You got a
no,
good
I
look.
peaked. I still peaked at 18. I peaked 18. My senior year of high school, freshman year of college, I was crushing it. Now,
I think you got some good years more to come.
I appreciate that. Until I'm 150. Going back into the Streamlabs, we got a couple more, and then we'll get D out of here. Glenn Caesar said, Derrial, are you watching / are you a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series? It's on Netflix. Does a great job combining comedy with seriousness, using multicultural approach to spirituality. Roxy, would you be open to watching it if you had it on DVD / Blu-ray? So I've never seen it, but I keep hearing everybody telling me I should. Do you watch?
It's on my queue. Actually, I've been told to watch. So I have not gotten to that one. Maybe that'll be my next one.
We have to hold each other accountable on that one.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll let everybody. I'll come back on the show and we'll let everybody know. We'll give it a review.
If it's on Netflix, I definitely don't need it on DVD or Blu-ray. Then I have no excuse if it's on Netflix. I just haven't gotten there. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I will. I'll definitely try. Morse Code Z says, wasn't able to watch live today because I got in late. So I'm not sure if you're still going or not, but where I'm at has been a fantastic show. Oh, wherever you are in terms of binging it. Thanks. Also, just some end of the month love. See you in July. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that end of the month love is necessary. Are you one of the people like me where all of your bills are due on the 1st?
Yeah.
Fuck the 1st. It's
I know.
coming so quickly this month.
Oh, but at least we'll have a longer month in July. We'll have 31 days.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't believe in I don't believe in the business in July. It's not like I'm like, okay, but everything's coming back in July, so I've got all this work. Like,
I know.
But
I have started to see things start, like, there's meetings happening. People are buying content. I actually wanted to make a comment really quick before I know we got to wrap soon, but you had said something earlier, or someone in the chat had mentioned something about content and Black content. And I wanted to tell people, now is the time to sell your shit.
Yeah.
Like, so many places are looking for diversity in content, and they are spending money. So if you have a concept, shoot a sizzle, create a YouTube page, get your one-sheeter, a presentation, get that shit out there right now, because hopefully this is not just a fad, but if it is, you got to take advantage of the money right now.
That's a good point. I can't wrap my head around the fact that this could be a fad, but we just don't know with this fucking planet. So get on that. Completely
get
agree.
on it now. Make those checks.
Derrial, thank you for joining us today live at the Roxy. You're amazing. I love you, and I love having you on the show. But one of the things that I love about the rock stars, all the people in here right now, is they are so supportive. So please, please let them know where they can find you, how they can support you, what they can follow, where they can watch, because they will go do it, because they are freaking awesome. And because you're amazing. So you're an easy person to love and support. But let us know all of the things, all the places.
Well, you're very kind. Love you much. You know that. You can follow me at Derrial Christon on all of social media handles. It's at the bottom, but I'll spell it out if I need to, or do I not need to? I don't need to, right?
And I think they see it. I don't have a podcast, so they just they have to watch it. So
okay, perfect. So I'm at the bottom. I mean, I post all my stuff there. I have like I said, I have another panel today that's men in entertainment that I'm doing at 3 p.m. Pacific time. But I do a lot of different things like this. I have a show called The Trend that is every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 Pacific. You can follow it also on my page on social media, Instagram. I'm more on Instagram the most. I have a TikTok account. I just haven't made a lot of time for TikTok.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just gotta people have been yelling at me because I haven't put a lot of time into my TikTok, but I'm gonna do more.
I want to see your TikTok. What kind of things are you trying to do?
I want to be creative, so I want to do some fun stuff. Like, I have an idea. I don't even want to say it yet. I have an idea of like something fun to do that would be funny, but it's just a matter of taking the time to do it. I can just post a picture and put a little caption, but I got to put a little work in it. A
little time. Yeah, I know. That's the kind of cool thing about the platform, is like you actually have to give a shit.
Yeah, you got to give a shit.
Yeah. Guys, round of applause for Derrial. Everybody at home doing it with me. A little bit of housekeeping here on this show. Tomorrow, I'm either going to be solo, or Steph Sabra will come back and join, because I know you guys love when she co-hosts. She's like the second host of this show. And then on Thursday, my friend Ed Greer is coming on. If you guys watch Screen Junkies, you know him from there, and he's just the freaking best. So I'm very excited about that. I'll keep you posted about guests in the future. One more comment coming in from Glenn Caesar, said, thanks for the fun show, Roxy and Derrial. Derrial has to come back again as soon as he can. Another awesome rock star. Well, that will be up to Derrial, because he is always welcome here. Anytime he wants, anything you're ever promoting, anything you ever want to talk about. You have your own massive platform, but if you ever want to borrow my platform, it's always yours.
I would love to. Wait, what's our name? They gave us a name again.
Oh, yeah.
Angelina and Brad. What are we?
I'll find
Bradgelina?
it. Oh my God. It was Roxarial.
Roxarial. I like that. That's a cool name. Roxarial. That sounds very like, that is a name.
Deroxy. That's kind of cool too. Roxarial's cool, but Deroxy is kind of
Deroxy. I like them both.
They said Roxarial.
But I'm gonna go with what they put though, because that was very creative. That was
Roxarial for the win.
Roxarial.
Thank you to Weston for giving us that one.
What's your name, Roxarial?
Yeah. we sound like the Little Mermaid. I don't know. Like because
Ariel.
Rock's Ariel. It sounds like the Little Mermaid has gone on land. She's on the rocks.
Yeah, she's on the rocks. It does
Rock's
sound.
Ariel.
It is catchy though. It is a very TV name, Rock's Ariel.
Ooh, and like also pop star. Now
Yeah.
coming on stage, everybody give it up for Rock's
Ariel!
Ariel. What? Rock's Ariel! We just got weird and show.
We just got weird. Sorry, guys.
Love you guys. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. live at the Roxy. Thank you to Derrial. You're incredible. Go follow him, and I'll catch you guys live tomorrow.
Bye.